Hey, are y'all ready for Bible study? So for context, this is when the Israelites were freed from Egypt and they were going to the promised land. They had Moses and Moses just died. And so when Moses died, Joshua became their leader. And I'm reading Joshua chapter 1 and chapter 2. Okay, so in Joshua chapter 1, God tells Joshua to be strong and courageous 3 times. So he tells him in verse 6, be strong and courageous, for you shall cause these people to inherit the land that I swore to their fathers to give to them. That's Moses and them. He says it in verse 9, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. And then he says it in the last verse, and that's verse 18, whoever rebels against your commandment and disobeys your words, whatever you command them shall be put to death. Only be strong and courageous. Okay, cool. He said it 3 times. Now we go to chapter 2. In chapter 2, this is where they meet Rahab. Rahab lives in the wall. The spies go to Rahab's house and they say, hey, don't tell on us because we trying to live. But this Jericho, we about to take over Jericho. And long story short, they take over Jericho. Rahab and her family get saved. Okay. Now, this is what I want to point out. In verse 8, verse 9, she says, and she said to the men, I know that the Lord has given you the land and that the fear of you has fallen upon us and that all inhabitants of the land shall melt before you. And then she says in verse 11, and as soon as we heard it, our hearts melted, and there was no spirit left in any man because of you. For the Lord your God, he is the God in the heavens above and on earth beneath. Why did I point out those 2 things? Because this is what I believe. I believe that when God tells us not to fear, or when he gives us a command, go possess the land, start the business, approach this person, start the church, whatever, he's implying that you should be strong and courageous. He's implying that. He may not say those words, but that's implied when God tells you to go do something, right? But what is interesting is that I'm assuming that even before God told Joshua to be strong and courageous, because remember, he promised this land to Joshua's grandfather. He promised this land a whole long time ago. Right? So even before God told Joshua the commandment, or Moses, and told him to be strong and courageous, he was setting it up. Rahab said, we're scared. The people hadn't even came to take over Jericho. And Rahab said, my people are afraid of your people because they know they about to die. They know you about to take over this land and possess it. They know this city about to be yours. So why can't we, when God tells us to go do something, whatever that something is for you, why can't we just assume that God is going before us? Why can't we just assume that the hearts of the people that we're supposed to serve, that we're supposed to help save, because we can't save anybody, are being primed and waiting on you? Because remember, God's timeline is like this. Can't even see it. It's like this. Our timeline on earth is like this. So I believe that in this situation, that if they weren't strong and courageous, they would not have known that God had gone before them. That's all I got.